Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video, it is going to be another ranking. And I am going to be ranking all 5 of the Scream movies. So the 5th Scream film, which is also just titled Scream, released a few short weeks back, and although I wasn't able to see it right away, I was finally able to see it last night, and therefore, I've got to update the good old ranking. Before I hop into the actual ranking itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my ranking videos. So be sure to check that out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so, without further ado, let's hop right into things. Number 5, Scream 3. In my mind, this is easily and by far the weakest of the franchise. It doesn't really offer up anything new or exciting, the killer reveal was a total letdown, and then of course you have the elephant in the room, the whole voice-changing device that still doesn't even exist as of 2022, let alone way back in 2000. Most of the new characters suck. However, I always will appreciate the cameo from the one and only Carrie Fisher. And lastly, they just did my girl Gail so dirty with that haircut. Number 4, Scream 2. I feel like I'm in the minority that finds this one to only be slightly superior to Scream 3. When it comes to the killer reveal, I've always felt that one of them was super obvious and the other one just came way out of left field. They sliced up and ended my boy Randy in the most lackluster way I could possibly think of, and many of the new characters are just honestly uninteresting. However, it does still maintain many of the elements that we loved from the original, like the spot-on meta humor, great tension building, and our main trio of characters are just as lovable as ever. It does indeed follow many of the tropes of the traditional sequel, like our characters keep referencing, for better and for worse. Number 3. Scream 4. It was definitely a toss-up between this one and the next one. I love Scream 4. Up until now, I've always felt that this was the best sequel. It's a sequel that no one expected, no one really asked for, but we got anyway, and I think it really did shock everyone when it was so good that it breathed new life into the franchise. Catching up with our main trio of heroes after a decade was so refreshing, seeing where their lives have gone, like how Sid has become a huge success, and Dewey and Gale finally got married. The new characters are very hit or miss. Jill and Kirby are awesome, super likable and memorable. The rest, not so much. They range from generic to just completely unbearable. It's got new refreshing jokes, new meta rules for our horror junkies to feast on, a totally unexpected killer reveal, and some gnarly kills. Not to mention, this one will always hold an extra special place in mine and many other horror fans' hearts because it was the last movie that the great Wes Craven directed before his passing in 2015. Number 2, Scream 2022. I'll start by saying that I actually loved most of the new characters. Most of them. As some of them that don't get quite as much screen time are pretty dull. Some of the legacy characters felt pretty wasted in all honesty, which was a total bummer. Out of the 3 returning, Dewey was definitely the standout. I genuinely loved all of the callbacks, nostalgic moments, and of course, the meta humor. I'm just so happy that this movie ended up being one big commentary and middle finger to toxic, whiny fandoms. Just pure genius, brilliant, I love it. The kills were brutal and effective. The reveal was excellent. And overall, it just fits right in with the rest of the franchise. A true love letter to Wes. And number 1, Scream. I mean, this one had to be obvious. No matter how many times they try to recapture the magic of this original, you just simply can't beat a classic. Back in 1996, this movie flipped the horror genre upside down with its meta approach, as our characters referenced their way through the movie as if they were living through a horror movie come to life. It was clever, funny, unique, and gifted us with one of today's most iconic killers, Ghostface. With a cast full of relatable, quirky, and over-the-top characters, arguably the best opening scene in a horror movie or even just movie history in general, and one hell of a memorable killer reveal. Sure, there are some stereotypical and cliche things here and there, but with everything being so on the nose and self-referential, it really only works to the movie's advantage. And at the end of it all, this is easily among my favorite horror movies of all time. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my ranking. While you're at it, feel free to let me know how you would rank all 5 of the Scream movies and what ranking you'd like to see me cover next. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. And that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.